Take a close look at this chilling photo. Thousands of people gathered under a massive glowing orb in the sky. Some claim this is the first ever photograph of a UFO, captured in the early 20th century during an open-air gathering in Portugal. The orb's radiant rings and central glow seem almost otherworldly. According to one theory circulating on the internet, this event marked the beginning of humanity's obsession with UFOs. But what was it? A natural phenomenon? A celestial event? Or something much more mysterious? While this image left viewers spellbound, the next photo, more recent yet just as eerie, sent shockwaves through even the most skeptical minds. Let's move on and dive deeper into the enigma. In the spring of 1950, a farmer in McMinnville, Oregon snapped what would become one of the most hotly debated UFO photographs of all time. Paul Trent's photograph captured a saucer-like object hovering in the sky above his farm. There were no obvious tricks, no strings, no mirrors, just an otherworldly craft suspended in the air. Even skeptics have struggled to explain the authenticity of this image, which was extensively studied by experts. The photograph was published in Life magazine, bringing it to the forefront of America's growing fascination with UFOs. Was it an experimental aircraft, a visitor from beyond the stars, or perhaps a carefully constructed hoax? The image remains as enigmatic as the object it depicts, refusing to give up its secrets. This eerie sighting marked a turning point in how the public perceived UFOs. Yet just a year later, far from the quiet skies of Oregon, a different mystery emerged, not above us but in the snow-covered mountains of the Himalayas. In 1951, high in the icy wilderness of the Himalayas, mountaineer Eric Shipton stumbled upon something that sent chills down his spine. An enormous footprint pressed deep into the snow. It was unlike anything he'd seen before. Measuring over a foot in length, the print had the shape of a human-like foot, but it was far too large and set too deep for any ordinary climber. He quickly snapped a photograph, unknowingly fueling a global obsession with the legend of the Yeti. The locals had long spoken of a towering, mysterious creature stalking the mountains, but Shipton's photograph was the first tangible proof of its existence. Was it a hoax, a misidentified bear track, or the real deal, a relic of an ancient species that escaped the march of time? The icy trails of the Yeti have gone cold, but the photograph still haunts the minds of those who dare to believe. And yet, as our story continues, another creature from legend emerges. This time from the dark and murky waters of a Scottish loch. Fast forward nearly 70 years, to a calm day on Loch Ness. Tourist Steve Chalice was on a trip to Scotland when he casually snapped a photograph of what he thought was just a ripple in the water. When he reviewed the image, however, he noticed something chilling. A long, dark shape breaking the surface with what appeared to be fins. Could this be Nessie, the elusive Loch Ness monster? The photograph quickly went viral, with some calling it the clearest evidence of the creature's existence in decades. Skeptics have suggested the image shows a large fish or even a clever photo edit, but experts remain divided. The waters of Loch Ness have swallowed more than just mysteries over the years, they've swallowed attempts to uncover the truth. The photo reignited global fascination with this aquatic legend, reminding us that even in the age of modern technology, some mysteries remain unsolved. But just when we think we've plumbed the depths of intrigue, we're thrust into the skies over Chicago, where a much more recent encounter leaves us questioning what's really up there. In the bustling skies over Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, November 7, 2006, became a day that would forever fuel UFO conspiracy theories. It was an ordinary afternoon, airplanes were landing, passengers were boarding, until ground crew workers, pilots, and even passengers reported seeing a metallic disc-shaped object hovering over Gate C-17. Witnesses described it as gray, saucer-like, and eerily silent, hanging motionless in the sky for several minutes before suddenly shooting upward at an unimaginable speed. What's more chilling? The object left behind a perfectly circular hole in the dense cloud cover, as if it had punched through reality itself. The FAA dismissed the event as a weather phenomenon, but the sheer number of credible witnesses, including aviation professionals, made it difficult to ignore. To this day, the O'Hare UFO incident remains unexplained, with many asking, was this an experimental craft, a visitor from another world, or something we cannot yet comprehend? In the quiet town of Greencastle, Indiana, O'Hare Mansion stands as a crumbling monument to the past. But for decades, whispers of ghostly apparitions have made it a magnet for the brave and the curious. In 1996, a paranormal investigator named Guy Winters entered the mansion with a simple goal: capture evidence of the supernatural. What he brought back was more chilling than anyone expected. Among the photos he took, one stood out, a translucent figure of a woman in what appeared to be 19th century clothing, standing eerily in a window. She became known as the Pink Lady. Many who visited the mansion report strange phenomena, the feeling of being watched, sudden temperature drops, and faint whispers in the empty halls. Was this ghost an echo of a tragic past, or was it a trick of the light, amplified by the imaginations of those who dare to explore? Whatever the truth, the haunting at O'Hare Mansion leaves a mark on all who experience it. From ghostly figures to unexplained fibers falling from the heavens, our next story takes us to the skies once more for an event so mysterious, it left scientists grasping for answers. October 27, 1954, Florence, Italy. Thousands of soccer fans were gathered in the stadium, their eyes fixed on the match, when suddenly, a collective gasp rippled through the crowd. Above them, the sky seemed alive with strange, glowing objects, silver spheres darting and weaving with impossible precision. As they watched in stunned silence, a fine, silky substance began to drift down from the sky, covering the ground like a ghostly snowfall. This material, later dubbed angel hair, disintegrated upon touch, leaving nothing but questions behind. The incident was witnessed by so many people that it couldn't be dismissed as a hallucination or a mere coincidence. Was the angel hair a byproduct of alien technology, a bizarre weather event, or something entirely unknown to science? To this day, the angel hair phenomenon remains one of the most enigmatic UFO-related events in history. And while Florence's skies have long since cleared, the mysterious depths of our next story lead us far below the surface, to a shadowy structure lying in wait at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. In 2011, an underwater expedition led by the Ocean X team stumbled upon something truly extraordinary at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. While scanning for sunken treasures, their sonar picked up an unusual formation, a massive circular object with distinct edges and what appeared to be a trail leading up to it. Measuring roughly 200 feet in diameter, the anomaly looked startlingly artificial. Its shape, likened to a crashed spaceship or even an underwater Stonehenge, defied simple explanation. The team's findings sparked wild speculation. Was this an ancient structure, the remnants of a lost civilization, or perhaps evidence of extraterrestrial visitation? Skeptics argue it could be a natural geological formation, but the unusual features captured in sonar scans only deepen the mystery. Divers who attempted to investigate reported strange malfunctions in their equipment when nearing the site, as if the anomaly emitted some unseen force. The Baltic Sea anomaly remains a riddle locked beneath the waves, leaving us to wonder what secrets the oceans might still be hiding. The haunting case of Elisa Lam continues to captivate and unsettle the public. In February 2013, guests at the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles began complaining about strange-tasting water and low pressure in their taps. When maintenance staff investigated, they made a chilling discovery. Elisa Lam, a 21-year-old traveler from Canada, was found deceased in one of the hotel's rooftop water tanks. Her death sparked countless questions, but none as eerie as the footage captured by the hotel's elevator security camera just days before her disappearance. In the video, Elisa is seen acting erratically, pressing multiple elevator buttons, peeking cautiously into the hallway, and gesturing as if speaking to someone who isn't there. The footage, which went viral, raised endless theories. Was Elisa the victim of foul play? Did she have a mental health crisis? Or, as some have speculated, was there something supernatural at work in the infamous Cecil Hotel, a place long associated with dark tales and tragedy? Official reports ruled her death an accident, yet many remain unconvinced, drawn to the unresolved questions surrounding her final days. Deep within the tranquil waters of Lake Ikeda, Japan's largest volcanic lake, lurks a creature that has captured imaginations for decades. Known as Yeti, this serpent-like being is said to be over 30 feet long, with a sleek, dark body that moves gracefully beneath the surface. The first reported sightings of Yeti date back to the 1970s, when a group of locals claimed to have seen the creature swimming near the lake's edge. Since then, occasional sightings and mysterious ripples have only added to the legend. Some describe Yeti as resembling a giant eel or snake, while others compare it to the more famous Loch Ness monster. Skeptics suggest the sightings may simply be large fish or even logs mistaken for something more sinister. However, Yeti's lore runs deep in local culture, with stories of the creature said to protect the lake and its surroundings. Whether Yeti is fact or fiction, the the legend continues to attract visitors and researchers eager for a glimpse of the unknown. From the depths of Lake Ikeda, we now turn to the arid landscapes of Utah, where an unexpected metallic mystery shocked the world in 2020. In November 2020, a team of biologists surveying sheep in Utah's remote Red Rock Desert stumbled upon something that seemed to defy logic, a sleek metallic monolith standing alone in the rugged landscape. Its shiny, stainless steel surface reflected the arid terrain, a stark contrast to the natural beauty surrounding it. The structure stood roughly 10 feet tall, with no markings or explanation for its presence. Who put it there? How long had it been standing? And more importantly, why? The discovery quickly went viral, sparking comparisons to the mysterious monoliths in Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey. While some dismissed it as an elaborate art installation, others wondered if it was a signal, a marker, or even a message from an advanced civilization. Just as suddenly as it appeared, the Utah monolith vanished without a trace, leaving the world baffled. But while the desert of Utah gave us one monolith to ponder, the universe itself has been presenting us with far greater mysteries. Our next stop takes us far beyond Earth, to the Red Planet, where another enigmatic structure has captured imaginations for decades. In 1998, NASA's Mars Global Surveyor captured an image of a peculiar rectangular structure jutting out from the Martian surface. This object, quickly dubbed the monolith of Mars, appeared unnaturally geometric, with sharp angles and an eerie resemblance to the monoliths depicted in science fiction. Speculation ran rampant. Was this a relic of a lost Martian civilization? A marker left by extraterrestrials, or simply a naturally occurring rock formation? What made the monolith of Mars even more fascinating was its location. It stood isolated on the barren surface, as if deliberately placed there for someone or something to find. Astronomers and conspiracy theorists alike pored over the image, debating its origins and purpose. Could the monolith be a clue that Mars once harbored intelligent life? Or was it an accidental optical illusion, the result of shadows and light playing tricks on the human eye? The questions only deepened when, not far from the site of the monolith, another discovery thrust Mars back into the spotlight, a discovery that looked eerily familiar to us here on Earth. The year was 1976, and NASA's Viking 1 orbiter was busy snapping photographs of Mars when it captured an image that stopped scientists in their tracks. Amid the rolling terrain of the Cydonia region was a structure that appeared unmistakably human, a colossal face staring back at the camera. Measuring nearly 2 miles long, the face on Mars seemed to feature 2 eyes, a nose and a mouth, eerily symmetrical and uncannily lifelike. For years the face on Mars fueled endless speculation. Was this evidence of an ancient Martian civilization capable of crafting such a massive structure? Or was it nothing more than a natural formation, its resemblance to a human face purely coincidental? When higher resolution images were captured decades later, revealing a more mundane rock formation, some dismissed the face as nothing more than wishful thinking. But to many, it remains a symbol of our unrelenting desire to uncover mysteries beyond our planet. As we leave the distant red sands of Mars, our journey returns to Earth for a tale rooted not in space, but in rediscovery. The thrilling hope of finding life, thought lost forever. In 2021, a grainy but captivating series of photos sent waves through the scientific and cryptozoological communities. The images, taken in the remote wilderness of Tasmania, claim to depict the thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger, a species officially declared extinct in the 20th century. The photos showed a sleek dog-like creature with distinctive stripes along its back, remarkably similar to descriptions and old footage of the thylacine. While skeptics quickly pointed out the possibility of a misidentified wild dog, the images reignited hope that the elusive predator might still roam Tasmania's dense forests. The thylacine story is one of loss and mystery, with its supposed extinction attributed to overhunting and habitat destruction. But these photographs, whether proof of survival or a fleeting mirage, remind us of our fascination with the unknown. From the dense forests of Tasmania to the vast skies of Texas, another story of sightings and mystery once captured the imagination of an entire town. On a warm August evening in 1951, residents of Lubbock, Texas, looked to the skies and witnessed something they could never explain. A formation of bright lights, flying in a distinct V-shaped pattern, glided silently across the night sky. Multiple witnesses, including professors at Texas Tech University, reported seeing the same phenomenon, and one brave college freshman, Carl Hart Jr., managed to capture photographs of the lights with his camera. These images became some of the earliest and most enduring pieces of UFO evidence in modern history. What makes the Lubbock lights so compelling is the credibility of the witnesses and the consistency of their accounts. The Air Force investigated, dismissing the lights as migrating birds reflecting the glow of street lamps, a conclusion that failed to satisfy those who saw the event firsthand. Were the Lubbock lights visitors from another world, an experimental military craft, or something entirely beyond our understanding? While the mystery lingers in the skies of Texas, another tale unfolds far from the stars, in the frozen wilderness of Canada, where an entire village seemingly vanished overnight. The story of the vanishing village of Anjikuni Lake reads like a legend, but for those who have heard it, it remains one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. In November 1930, a fur trapper named Joe LaBelle arrived at the remote Inuit village near Anjikuni Lake in Canada's frigid tundra. He expected to find the bustling community he had visited before, but what he found was nothing short of terrifying. The village was eerily silent. Every hut was abandoned, meals were left uneaten, and the sled dogs, vital to survival in the harsh Arctic, were found dead and frozen, still tied to their stakes. Perhaps the most unnerving detail? The graves in the village burial ground were reportedly opened, their contents missing. Theories range from a mass migration to supernatural forces or even alien abduction. But to this day, there is no concrete explanation for the disappearance of the Anjikuni villagers. The Arctic winds continue to howl across the empty settlement, carrying whispers of what might have happened. From the icy wilderness of Canada, we now journey southward, into the haunted halls of a historic Louisiana plantation, where a mirror holds secrets as chilling as the vanishing village itself. In the heart of Louisiana lies Myrtle's plantation, a site steeped in chilling tales of the supernatural. Among the most famous relics of its haunted past is a mirror said to trap the souls of those who died tragically within the house. In 1992, the mirror became the subject of eerie attention when visitors began noticing something strange, handprints appearing inside the glass, no matter how often it was cleaned. Even more unsettling, some reported seeing faint outlines of faces staring back at them from the depths of the mirror, faces that didn't belong to anyone in the room. The legend of the mirror ties back to the plantation's dark history. It is said to house the spirits of Sarah Woodruff and her children, who met an untimely demise in the 19th century. The mirror, meant to be covered during their funeral to prevent their souls from being trapped, was left uncovered by mistake, or so the story goes. Is it a clever illusion, a trick of light and imagination, or evidence of something otherworldly? While the mirror continues to draw visitors seeking a glimpse of the unexplained, another ancient mystery beckons us back through time to a story as old as humanity itself, the tale of Noah's Ark and its alleged discovery. For centuries, the story of Noah's Ark has been woven into religious texts and folklore, a tale of survival and divine intervention. But in the 1950s, rumors began swirling that the fabled Ark had finally been found. High on Mount Ararat in modern-day Turkey, aerial photographs captured what appeared to be the remains of a massive ship-like structure buried in ice and rock. These images ignited a global frenzy, with explorers and archaeologists flocking to the site in hopes of uncovering the truth. Supporters of the theory point to the structure's dimensions, which align closely with the biblical description of the Ark, as well as ancient accounts suggesting the vessel came to rest in the mountains after the Great Flood. Skeptics argue the Ark is nothing more than a natural rock formation shaped by erosion. Despite numerous expeditions, the enigma of Noah's Ark remains unsolved, a tantalizing blend of faith, history and myth. But as we leave the icy peaks of Mount Ararat, our journey takes us to an even more chilling location, thousands of miles away. Perched at over 16,000 feet in the Himalayas, Rupkund Lake is a place of stark beauty and unsettling secrets. Known as Skeleton Lake, this frozen body of water holds hundreds of human skeletons, scattered along its edges and submerged beneath its icy depths. Discovered by a forest ranger in the 1940s, the remains have baffled researchers for decades. Who were these people, and what led to their mass demise? Recent studies have revealed a chilling clue. The skeletons belong to multiple groups of individuals from vastly different time periods, some dating back to the 9th century. The most popular theory suggests they were caught in a freak hailstorm, with massive hailstones striking them down as they traversed the mountain, but the mystery deepens with the presence of artifacts and genetic evidence linking some of the skeletons to Mediterranean origins. Was Rupkund a pilgrimage site, a battleground, or the scene of an ancient tragedy lost to history? The silence of the lake offers no answers, only a quiet reflection of the towering peaks that guard its secrets. That's about it. Write in the comments which photo seemed the most unusual to you. For more useful information, watch other videos.